Hi, Emerson.
Hello, teacher.
Good morning. Let me just plug in my headset. Hey, good morning.
How are you, teacher?
Hey, I'm doing all right. What about yourself?
I'm good. Sorry for because in the past week I I did can uh join into the class, but I had a very crazy week with a lot of things to do, and I'm sorry.
Okay, cool, no problem. Yeah, the good thing is that you're back, so we'll try to go ahead
Yes.
and take advantage of the time. Great. Let me quickly share my screen. Let me see, today's the 20th, and I'm going to check your attendance. So busy week last week, Emerson?
Yeah. Even uh a partner went to his vacations. Yo lo cubrí.
Ah, okay.
It was very stressful because I was doing two jobs, my job and my partner jobs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, imagine that's the difficult part when somebody goes on vacations because we have one person less, but you still have to cover all the activities
Yes.
and the responsibilities. So how was it? So I bet that you had a long schedule last week.
Yes. Very long schedule.
Mm-hmm. I imagine. But is he or she going to be back today from vacations?
Yeah, I think today.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Then. Good. I hope he or she returns back today so you don't have a lot of activities. And so was he gone 1 week for vacations, or is it gonna be the 2 weeks?
Only 1 week,
Now only 1 week.
but he took since the past Friday, no, since 2 Fridays before. I don't know how to say it, since uh Friday 10, January 10, uh, until today.
Now, okay. Yeah, so that's, I mean, if you think
Like
about it and about all the
7 days.
activities, it's quite long.
Yes.
Okay, cool then. So just to give you visibility, well, we had a very low attendance for last week, but we were talking about certain things. I'm going to cover up this part for you. If you remember, we have been talking about health problems, right? Common health problems that we usually face. So I'm going to cover this part and then we're going to move on to a listening part. Okay. So in this part, Emerson, I mean, it should be a group discussion, but we don't have any more partners, right, to go over this with. So what we are going to imagine is what are the possible solutions or the things that you do if you face these situations. For example, we are going to imagine that these situations right here are true for you, and what would be some of the suggestions or the things that you would do to overcome them. These ones right here. For example, what do you usually do when you feel really stressed? Imagine that you have a lot of work, many activities to do. So what are some of the things that you do to relieve your stress?
need to first I do the principal activities, and the secondary activities uh, I try to enfocarme menos, what to say. Try
Okay.
to and I
Mhm.
try to sleep early if it's possible, or try
Okay.
to eat uh, my food on time. That also that.
And so you try to deviate your attention a little or try to think about something else if you're too stressed. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it makes sense. Great. What about if you need to study but you can't concentrate? So what are some of the steps or activities that you do to try and concentrate into one activity?
Mm, maybe sometimes I go to walk in the near to my house. I don't know, in the afternoon. I try to relax, uh, or maybe listen some music. I don't know.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, sometimes this part of listening to music can really make a difference when it comes to, concentrating. Okay. What about the next one? If you feel sick before an exam, I mean, probably not only sick, but if you are too nervous, what are the things that you do?
Mhm. Maybe I try to breathe. Respirar is breathe.
Breathe. Uh-huh. You
Uh,
try to breathe.
I, I try to make a very, to say, profound, very deep breath.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you try to, really breathe and try and, you know, for you to shake away the nervousness.
Yes.
Okay.
When I was in the university, mm, I didn't I didn't have time for thinking about the nerves in the exam. I was
Mhm.
focusing and try to study a lot.
Mm-hmm. I imagine. Yeah, concentration or this part of nervousness, you can avoid it by studying, right? By getting ready. If you study, I mean, you will be ready for any exam or test that you're about to take. Okay.
Yeah, I remember one day that I was studying even when I was walking to the classroom.
Mm-hmm. So were you listening or reading while walking?
And reading, reading
Mm-hmm.
while I was walking.
Okay. Okay, cool. I don't know if this happens to you, but at some point do you forget the new words that you learn in English or any other language?
Um, Forget the vocabulary, for example.
Uh-huh, yeah, yeah. For example,
Yeah,
verbs or vocabulary in general, does it happen that you forget about it?
yes, it's very common that I forget a lot of words when I don't practice.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I am practicing.
Okay, and that part about, for example, for the words that you do learn, that you memorize, what are some steps that you take to memorize them and make sure that you do not forget the words that you really need to memorize?
Mhm. For me, uh, I try to I try to learn the vocabulary, and for example, one week or in 2 weeks, I try to review that vocabulary
Mm-hmm.
because I think if I don't review the vocabulary, I forget very fast.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Even with that way for learn, I forget the vocabulary. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know why.
Yeah, the thing is that if you do not use the words or the vocabulary in
Mhm.
context, then we may have difficulties to learn it or to memorize it. Okay, great.
That
What
is a
about
very difficult part in the
uh-huh.
English.
Yeah.
Learn a lot of vocabulary.
Something that really works is that if I mean it depends on your studying techniques, right? But something that really works is that you write them down in a notebook, right? On with your own hands, handwriting, because it helps you activate some parts of your brain that make you memorize things easily, right? If you, for example, if you look for the word, the definition, and you write a sentence as an example, one or two sentences, it helps you a little more to memorize the words. Okay.
I think that works for me.
Yeah, for me, it works. It works that I review for example, you review one of the units and then you check, this word I don't know, this other one, you start circling them and looking for the meanings. It works. Okay.
But it's very complicated because when, for example, I try to read, uh, I don't know, uh, a book, for example, or how to say publicación in
A
Facebook, for
post,
example,
a post.
a post. When I try to read a post, there are a lot of words that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a one or two, three words. There are a lot of words. This is very how to say frustrante, a veces.
Mm-hmm. It is
Ve-
frustrating. Yeah,
Frustrating,
imagine.
yes.
The thing is that some of the words you need to understand them through context. Probably you do not know the meaning, but you try to guess, right? This could
Hmm.
probably mean this one, and if not, you go ahead and you look for the meanings to make sure that you understood it correctly.
Yes. Uh, I sometimes I understand the context. It's more easy for
Mm-hmm.
when you don't know uh, exactly, but is even more complicated when you are listening.
Mm-hmm.
When you read, it's easy, but in the listening, it's very complicated.
Mm-hmm. So this part about now that you mentioned the listening part, it is really important to that you read a word and you know the correct pronunciation for that word. Because if you don't, then when you listen to it, you do not understand it. Imagine, I'm going to give you an example. Right, let me see. With the word study, right? Study. If you learn the pronunciation as a study, then when you listen to study, then you do not understand it, right? So that's why it becomes very important that by the moment that you see a new word, that you learn the correct pronunciation. So when you listen to it, you will be able to understand it or to identify it, right? Okay.
Yes, because the right of the word is different to the pronunciation. Usually,
Yes.
it's very different.
Yes, it is. It is very different from. I mean, there are some words that are completely different from the writing, right? From the writing part, so that's why it will be all right to understand the correct pronunciation. Perfect. What about this one? At your job, do you have or do you get nervous when you speak English to foreigners? Or have you ever had the chance to speak to a native speaker at work or outside work?
No, never. Uh, I try to to watch movies or series. I don't know in English, but with subtitles
Subtitles, uh-huh.
because I for try to understand the pronunciation for a native person, but I never I never been talk with a native.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, at least the series, movies, videos in general will give you a very good perspective. But do you think that you would get nervous or not? Do you think that you would be probably be cool when speaking to foreigners?
No, probably I will be nervous.
Okay, great, makes sense.
I I I I I I am I am a very I know how to say it. When I talk with other person that I don't know, I feel nervous.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you do not know the person, you would get a little nervous.
Yes, even more in other language.
Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. And thanks for sharing. And the last one about this part, what do you usually do if you get really hungry before you go to bed? Do you imagine that you really need to sleep? Do you still have a snack, a full meal, or you say, no, I better eat until tomorrow morning?
I wait to the tomorrow
So
morning
you,
because
mhm,
when I brush my teeth, I don't like eat after that.
mhm, okay.
I try to keep calm.
You try to keep calm and eat until the next day morning. Yeah, it is kind of an effort sometimes that you get really hungry, and if you eat especially a full meal or a snack, you need to wait at least an hour or two to go back to
Yes.
bed. Okay, great. Thanks,
Teacher,
Emerson. Uh-huh.
do you talk with native persons in your job?
Yeah, yeah, I do. The thing is that in the type of position that I have, sometimes I deal with clients, right? And most of them, maybe around an 80% are from the United States. So they are native speakers from different states, right, or regions. The last guys that we had here in our site, they were here, let me see, about a month ago. About a month ago, both of the guys were from Houston, Texas. So yeah, I mean in person or Zoom calls, no problem. And sometimes I have to deal with people from the Philippines, right? They are not native speakers, but they have a different accent. People from Europe, and also people from South Africa, because now we have a site in South Africa. So we also deal with them for meetings and things like that. From Manila, Philippines, Cebu, the United States, Europe, we have people from Portugal, from England. So you get used to the accents.
Nice. And
Mhm.
it's
So
difficult for you.
Now it isn't anymore because I can understand that it's practice. I mean, like when you play a sport or when you do
Mhm.
exercise. So if you practice, you find it easy. At the beginning, when I started taking calls, there were many things that I couldn't understand, right? Because of the accents, and I was not used to it. But now, no problem at all.
It's like a natural conversation in Spanish, for example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just get used to it. You listen to their accent, you understand the words, and even more if you're familiar with the vocabulary, right? Because usually, for example, in your case, if you know the vocabulary related to all the graphs, the information that you present, the inventory for the stores, the shoes, the brands. I don't know what else. What other type of information do you handle?
Uh, I don't know that databases for the software that we use,
Mm-hmm.
the math calculations. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the math calculation, whether they are divisions, if you're multiplying, or I mean, as long as you handle the vocabulary from what you do, you will feel comfortable with the information.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Great. So in this part, Emerson, we have a listening practice about this conversation, especially since we're talking about any type of medication or remedies that we can take when we get sick. We have this conversation here from these men with the pharmacist. We are going to listen to it and then we're going to practice it. Okay. Let me play it and let me know if you can listen to this.
Page 81.
Can you?
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Make this a little bit bigger. Okay.
Exercise 8. Conversation. Can you suggest anything? Part A. Listen and practice.
Hi, may I help you?
Yes, please. Could I have something for a backache? My muscles are really sore.
Well, it's a good idea to use a heating pad. And why don't you try this cream? It works really well.
Okay, I'll take 1 tube. Also, my wife has a bad cough. Can you suggest anything?
She should try these cough drops.
Thanks. May I have a large bag? And what do you suggest for insomnia?
Well, you could get a box of chamomile tea. Is it for you?
Yes, I can't sleep.
A sore back and your wife's bad cough? I think I know why you can't sleep.
Okay, very good. Let me leave this part here so you can review it and let me know if you found new words or new vocabulary in this part.
For example, my muscles are really sore. Sore.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this part of sore muscles is when they hurt or when they ache, right? That is the meaning of sore muscles.
It's like doloroso.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like adolorido, right? Adolorido, that's what it means. Or dolores musculares, yeah. Those are sore muscles. Okay, besides sore muscles, any other one?
For example, use a heating pad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Okay, a heating pad is something that you put on your skin to try and alleviate the pain, right? So a heating pad is like an almohadilla térmica. Have you noticed that they have some sort of bags? Eh,
Yeah, I I remember that a few years ago I
mhm,
used one of them
mhm,
in my back.
on your
I
back.
think I don't remember why.
So those heating pads are, yeah, to try and alleviate pain muscles, usually, right? Some of them you need to plug them in or they use batteries, right? And there are some others like for when your belly hurts or if you have a stomach ache, there are some others that are like just bags, right? And people put inside those bags like
Heat
warm
water, I don't know.
warm water, and then you put it on your stomach, right? Those are a different type of pads. Great. Besides the heating pads and the sore muscles, any other one?
No, only that. For example, the other words like cough drops is like for the context. Cough is
Mm-hmm.
like
Uh-huh.
toser.
Yeah, exactly. But
Drop.
the drops, it depends, right? It depends on how you use them, but usually the drops, we usually find them a lot for your eyes, right? Sometimes your eyes could be irritated because of if you spend too much time on the computer. So we usually put in some eye drops, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So this was a sample of this conversation. Now I'm going to be the pharmacist and you're going to do the part of Mr. Peters, okay? So we practice the conversation. Well, let's start. So hi, how may I help you?
Yes, please. Could I have something for a backache? My muscles are really sore.
My muscles are really sore. Uh,
Muscles.
muscles, muscles.
Muscles. Okay.
Muscles. It's like the letter C, we kind of do not pronounce it, right? So muscles. Well, it's a good idea to use a heating pad. And why don't you try this cream? It works really well.
Okay, I take one, two. Also, my wife has a bad cough. Can you suggest anything?
She should try these cough drops.
Okay, thanks. May I have a large bag? And what do you suggest for insomnia?
Well, you could get a box of chamomile tea. Is it for you?
Yes, I can sleep.
A sore back and your wife's bad cough? I think I know why you can't sleep. Okay. Very.
There is a movie. The
Mhm.
name of a movie is Insomnia. That is a good movie. It's in Netflix.
Okay. I haven't watched it, but what is it about? I guess that it's pretty much explanatory, but can you elaborate a little more?
Um, there is a like I don't know, it's a pandemic. I don't know, but the people can sleep in all the world.
Okay.
Uh, and when the people can sleep, the society is very. I hope you say violence is violence.
Violence, uh-huh.
There is a lot of violence in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's entretenido.
Uh-huh. Entertaining. Uh-huh. Okay, cool. Yeah,
Entertaining.
it makes sense. But that part I mean, when people get when we can't sleep, we usually get mad. The same happens when you're hungry and you haven't eaten, right? So it's like we get really mad and we become annoying. We become annoying to the rest of the people because we really can't sleep or eat in this scenario.
It's very dangerous to don't sleep because uh, I remember that when you don't sleep, your cells, I think,
Your
your
cells,
cells
uh-huh.
are dying and killing other cells near
Mm-hmm.
to near 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 cells. And your
Mm-hmm.
brain is practical dying.
Yeah, it's like
You are dying in a few words.
yeah, you're basically dying because your brain cells are dying slowly. So, okay, great. Now we have a second part, Emerson, of the conversation. So once again, we have the pharmacist. She's talking to a next customer, right? Somebody else arrives to the pharmacy, to the drugstore, and we need to identify what the customer wants, okay? So I'm going to play it for you, and then you tell me what you understand or what the next customer wants, okay? What her problem or his problem is, and what he or she wants. Let's see.
Page 81. Exercise 8. Part B. Listen to the pharmacist talk to the next customer. What does the customer want?
Excuse me,
Yes? How can I help you?
what do you suggest for a headache?
Well, you should take some pain medication, and it's important to see a doctor if it doesn't go away.
Oh, and where's the pain medication?
Right over there, near the door.
Thanks a lot.
Let's see, I'm going to play it once again, and then you tell me what the problem is, okay?
Page 81. Exercise 8. Part B. Listen to the pharmacist talk to the next customer. What does the customer want?
Excuse me,
Yes? How can I help you?
what do you suggest for a headache?
Well, you should take some pain medication, and it's important to see a doctor if it doesn't go away.
Oh, and where's the pain medication?
Right over there, near the door.
Thanks a lot.
All right, let's see. So what the problem is and what type of medication is she looking for?
She has a headache and needs medicine for his pain
No.
medication.
Yeah, pain medication. So in your case,
Her is his or her
her, yeah, it's a
her
woman.
her medication.
Yeah, it's a woman. In your case, what do you usually take when you get a headache? Imagine that you have a terrible headache. So what do you do to make it go away, the headache?
My headaches are not too terrible. I only try to take I try to sleep like 10 or 15 minutes. I try to drink a lot of water. I try to relax because my headaches are not too painful.
Okay, so you definitely do not suffer from migraine or anything like that.
No, not
Okay.
yet.
Okay, yeah, hopefully you will continue like that. Yeah, I mean, it will be kind of concerning when people get very often headaches, right? Or very recurrent headaches. So it could be a little
But sometimes,
dangerous.
for example, when for example after the work, I am very tired, like the 5 p.m. I don't know, but even when I very tired, when I go to walk, I go to run, I always that even if I have migraine, I can feel better when I go to run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like at some point this will give you more energy, right? It gives you more energy.
For example, yesterday I was very tired, but not for work because I went out with a friend since early, like 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. I when I go to my house, I was very tired. But I go out. I went to walk and I feel more energy. Even when I went to sleep like 9 p.m. I can't sleep because I had a lot of energy still.
Okay, yeah, excellent then. So this part about doing some other extra activities uh, really make a difference on your sleeping habits and the way that you and that you sleep and that the way that you rest. For example, I like to play soccer, I mean, at least on weekends, because on weekdays it's very difficult for me, right? I usually have a lot of work. But on weekends, I at least Saturday and Sunday at least try to play one game at least 1 hour and I feel better, right? It's like it helps you relax. It's like you think about nothing else but about scoring or not allowing the other team to score, right? So it's really good.
I think the best part is when you forget the other things that you will do.
Mm-hmm.
That focusing the activity that you are doing, I think is the best because for me, I feel that my mind is resting in that moment.
Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect then. Let me go ahead and check this part, Emerson. So this is something, these are some modal verbs that we can use when we try and request for a suggestion for about any type of medicine or anything that we can try on when we are feeling sick. Okay, so I'm going to play it and then we're going to review it together. Here we go.
Page 81. Exercise 9. Grammar focus. Modal verbs can, could, and may for requests. Suggestions.
Can I help you? May I help you?
Can I have a bag of cough drops?
Could I have something for a cough?
May I have a bottle of pain medicine?
What do you suggest for a backache? What do you have for a backache?
You could try this new cream.
You should get a heating pad.
Why don't you try these pills?
Okay, so if you notice, we're using can, may, or could, right, in order to ask for information. So these are modal verbs that are usually used for suggestions. Let's see, can you do me a favor and read this part, this chart right here before we check how we can use it here?
Can I help you? May I help you?
Mm-hmm.
Can I have a bag of cough drops? Could I have something for a cough? May I have a bottle of pain medicine? And what's the difference between can, could, may?
Well, could is a little bit more formal than can, okay? So if you want to be more formal, you use could, and may is like more used to ask for permission. Like when you say, may I go to the bathroom? So may is mostly used for permission. Can is like a regular puede darme esto, and could is like saying podría, right? It's a little bit more formal.
If I go to a restaurant for uh, for para pedir sería we could.
Yeah, you can say, could I have this hamburger, right? Could I have a hamburger with onion rings and a large soda? So yeah, could is very formal. If it's a casual conversation, you use can, right? Can I have this hamburger? Okay, cool. And here we have some suggestions, right? So what do you suggest or have for a backache, and what are the possible responses?
You could try this new cream. You should get a heating pad.